So as you welcome the breath in through your nose, see if you can count to 4 as you breathe in. And then 4 as you exhale, breath slowly moving out through the nose. You can even put your hands on your belly. Feel the belly rise and fall as you breathe in for 4. And out for 4. So we start to deliberately move the breath deeper down into the depths of the belly, into the lower parts of the lungs. Feel the backs of your lungs spread against the floor as you breathe in. As you exhale, dropping, the belly falls, the chest falls, the belly drops, and the back body spreads into the floor. Another moment to connect here. Start to find your ujjayi breath. So we breathe in and out. Continuing to breathe in and out through the nose, but feel that breath glide against the back of the throat, starting to make a very quiet ocean-like sound, like you're fogging up a mirror. The mouth is closed. And just this subtle connection to the breath, to sound, to movement, the way the body is moving in response to the breath. Just being a witness of all of this happening right now in this moment. Just helps us to clear the clutter. Taking 2 more rounds here. Nice, subtle ujjayi breath. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4. Really anchoring yourself into this moment, into this practice. And if you want to move with any intention today, you can welcome that in. Maybe just this freedom that exists within the present moment when we're so mindful of how we're breathing and moving. There's a lot of clarity, space, freedom, and ease. So just being aware of that maybe as we move through tonight's flow. And then from here, let's lengthen the legs out if they're bent. If knees are bent, stretch your arms up and overhead. Reach from the fingertips to the toes. Really stretch and spread the body. And then let's hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. And then we're going to send the left leg long again. Hug the right knee into the chest. And you can kind of rotate that thigh bone around in the hip socket. You can circle or just move from side to side. We'll start with a little bit of hips and hamstrings. So straightening the leg up for Supta Padangusthasana without the strap. You're going to lace the hands at the back of the leg. Spread the toes. Flex or point the foot. Try to feel your sacrum, your low back in the pelvis planted down on the floor, even on both sides. And then again, you can kind of roll your ankle. Just bring any movement to this that feels good and intuitive right now. You can start to walk your hands up to the calf, even maybe bringing the chest up toward the thigh. You can even give your calf a little massage here, or the hamstrings, or the IT band, just wherever you're feeling a little sensitivity or tightness, you're gripping in response to how you're moving right now. Just being open to that. The head can come back down, and then we're going to bend the knee and take it wide. Grab the outer edge of your foot, happy baby pose or half happy baby pose. So the left hand is going to anchor the left hip here, just getting into the hips. If it's too much to bring your shin bone vertical, so you're stacking your ankle over your knee, ideally in half happy baby, you could just hug the knee out to the side. Open up the inner thigh and the inner hip a little bit without getting too dramatic with the shape of your leg. So whatever you're looking for here, just again, opening, inviting opening. And then we'll bring that knee to the midline for a twist. Put the sole of the foot on top of your thigh, your left thigh. Scoot your hips over to the right just a little bit, and as you exhale, take your knee over to the left. Lengthen your tailbone, spread your toes, and then as you exhale, spread the right shoulder down toward the floor, look toward the right hand, and draw the navel toward the spine. Take a deep breath in, and a long breath out through your nose, staying connected to that breath. And bring the head back to center. Roll back onto your spine. We'll set up for side 2. So lengthen right leg, reset the hips, bend the left knee, pull it into the chest. A little bit of movement here with your femur bone and your hip socket. You can go kind of side to side. Make little circles like you're stirring a pot. So my hand is on my kneecap, just revolving my bone around in my socket. And then maybe start to straighten your leg if that's okay. Lace the hands kind of at that hamstring attachment, the lower leg, or the upper leg, the part of the leg closer to the floor, where the hamstrings start to attach to the sits bones. Flex your foot. You can point and flex. Roll the ankle, bring some movement into your ankle joint. Mine's cracking quite a bit right now. And then start to work your hands up to the calf. And then you can kind of lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. Pay attention to what your bottom leg is doing. Dig your heel into the floor. If your leg starts to roll out, bring your toes vertical. Flex your foot. And then, again, little massage. Just kind of touching the areas that might be responding or gripping. I'm pretty tight today. Ryan, I took a little of Christy's class yesterday, and I am definitely feeling it. You can tell her that. And then let's go ahead and come back down, and then we're going to bend the knee out to the side, grab the outer edge of your foot, half happy baby here, or that variation where it's not so intense. So the more intense we go here, we've got the ankle on top of the knee and the knee hugging in toward the rib cage. Or you can just kind of hug the knee toward the rib cage, open it out to the side, and let the leg relax a little bit. Let the shin fall out. But we got the right hand on the hip, we're planting there, grounding there, breathing there. And then we're going to bring the leg back to center, the knee is bent, put the sole of the foot on top of the right thigh, scoot your hips to the left a little bit. Take an inhale, we're twisting on the exhale, so knee toward the left, or the right. And then you're going to gaze toward the left as you exhale. Inhale, we find a little more space, the length of the spine. Exhale, we revolve the ribs toward the left. Spread the shoulder down toward the mat. Spread the right toes, lengthen them to the front of the mat. And then bring the head back to center. Roll back onto your sacrum. Pull both knees up into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side once again. Good, and then let's lift the chest up to the thighs here. Send the right leg forward, arms stretched to the front of the mat. We'll wake up the core. So you're going to pull the left knee to the chest, chest up to the knee. Inhale here. Exhale, both knees in. Inhale, switch. Left leg long, chest lifts. Exhale, pull both in. Inhale, extend the right. You can take arms up and overhead. Exhale, both knees in, lift the chest. Inhale, alternating. Exhale. Now we'll add a twist. Inhale, so hands behind the head. We're going to twist to the left while the right leg is long. Inhale, back to center, both knees, chest lifts. Exhale, twist to the right, left leg long. So little bicycles. Come to center, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, twist left. Long right leg. Inhale, we're moving slowly. Exhale, over to the right. Good, let's do one more each side. Inhaling, tuck it in tight. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And exhale, twist. Good, back to center, hug it in. Rock forward and back a few times. And then we'll come all the way up to sit. Sukhasana. Cross the shins. You can always sit on a blanket or any other cross-legged or any other seat. You can do Baddha Konasana if you'd like. We're going to do a few side bends. You're on the left palm down, reach the right arm up and over. Just invite space into your body with every inhale, expanding through the right ribs. Exhale, anchor the right hip down, soften the neck, release what you don't need. Inhale, let's go up through center. Exhale to the other side. Push into the right hand, ground the left hip, soften your neck and reach that left arm up and over. Breathe into the ribs. Inhale, space. Exhale, release. Let's come back up to center. Good, and we'll do one more little twist here. Inhale, arms reach up, and we're twisting to the right, so the left hand comes to the right thigh. Inhale, grow a little taller through the spine, and exhale, maybe take the ribs toward the right. You can take your gaze toward the right shoulder. Inhale, let's come to center. Float the arms up, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to left thigh. Take an inhale to get a little taller through the crown, and then an exhale to revolve. The navel lifts to the spine, gaze toward the left. Take the left shoulder, head back. Right, come on back to center. Inhale, arms reach up, nice and tall. Exhale, hands come into the heart. Good. Let's come forward onto hands and knees. So we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Find your alignment in your table, shoulders over the wrists. Feet are straight, pushing into the floor. Inhale, let the belly drop. Heart lifts. Exhale, push into your hands, round it out. Let the crown of the head drop toward the floor. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone to the back of the knees, round it out, let the head drop. So just another round or two here of your traditional cat-cow. Getting into your body, opening up the spine, opening up the abdominals, front and back body. And then we'll bring the spine back to neutral, just continuing or finishing up where you are. And then move the ribs to the right, let the belly drop, move the ribs to the left, and then round it out. So ribs to the right, belly drops, ribs to the left, round it out. And you can move a little more fluidly if you would like, moving the ribs and kind of the spine moving in all directions, and then coming back to center for the left side. So ribs to the left, drop the belly, ribs to the right, round it out. Ribs left, cow pose, ribs right, cat pose, and then make it a little faster if you like. Fluid, whatever feels good here. Nice, and then back to nice neutral table. Hands come forward a little bit, curl your toes under, come back into down dog. For this first down dog, feel free to bend your knees quite a bit. Feet are about hip width apart, and then as you're ready, start to straighten one leg at a time. Lift the navel back toward the spine, and then we'll alternate. So bending one knee, getting into the calf and the Achilles. Hamstrings start to gradually open as you straighten both. You can kind of lift your heels up, just take any movement in your down dog, being aware of how it feels, of why we move, why we do these little movements in down dog, what we're trying to get out of it. Maybe it feels nice to take your heels over to the right side of your mat and get a nice stretch in the left side of the waist. Lift the tailbone up and back as you push evenly into your hands. And then let's go back to center. Lift high into the balls of the feet, heels to the left. Breathe into the right ribs, or anything else you like to do in your down dog. Nice full breath here. Good, coming back to center. Inhale, let's shift forward into plank pose. Top of a push-up. Inhale again. Crown of the head lengthens forward, tailbone lengthens back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come into plank pose. You can always put your knees down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, put the knees down onto the floor for this first chaturanga. The elbows draw to the back of the mat. Let's lower all the way down. Pop up onto your fingertips and bring them pretty wide in line with the shoulders. The elbows point up. Push your feet into the floor, pubic bone down. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, tenting the fingers a little higher. Exhale, come down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, lift up. And see if you can hold here for a moment. Strengthen your back and drag the finger pads toward the back of your mat. Push your feet into the floor so your legs are active, and then lift your navel. Inhale again. Exhale, release. Put your hands in line with the tops of the shoulders. Curl the toes under, straighten your arms. Child's pose, push back. Let the forehead melt into the floor for a moment, reaching the fingertips to the front of the mat. Breathe some space into the back body, into the hips, the tops of the feet, the shoulders, wherever you might feel this child's pose. Connect here. Feel where your body is pushing down into your mat, and know that you can always come here throughout the practice. This is yours. You're at home. If you like to be in child's pose most of the time, I understand. I've been there today. And then if you're with me, let's inhale back up to tabletop. Hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing. Push the hands and feet away from each other, and let's just take a couple breaths in stillness here in your down dog. So if that means the knees come down and we're in puppy pose tonight, that's great. Okay, or a half dog. If we're in tabletop, if we're doing cat-cow instead of a still dog, that's fine. I'm just kind of guiding you, but there's tons of things we can do. From here, let's take the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Stretch your left heel down toward the floor. Take the right thigh bone up and back a little more. Hug the navel into the spine. Inhale, spread the toes. Reach through the ball of your right foot. Exhale, knee to nose, shifting forward into plank pose. Let's step the foot between your hands. Put the back knee down for a low lunge. So the feet hip width apart here. dropping the hips, tailbone moves in, low belly lifts, start to bring the spine upright. Hands can come to the thighs and rest there, or you can reach the arms up and over. We're just opening up the front of the hip. So it's really active in the base. The thighs are pulling in toward each other. Spine is tall, shoulders are relaxing down the back. Take another inhale here. Exhale, half splits. The fingertips come to the floor or your blocks. You're going to bring your hips back so you straighten the front leg. If the knee is bent, that's fine. We're trying to get into the hamstrings a little bit. If you need to be higher up, hands on blocks, books, or water bottle works. Drag the heel toward the back of the room or the back of the mat as the heart moves forward. So the spine is extending forward, but the hips and the shoulders are anchoring back. Navel is lifting toward the spine. Back of the neck is long. One more deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Rock forward again. Plank pose. Step back. Take an inhale here. Exhale. Chaturanga. So you can always do this on the knees. Lower all the way to the belly. Inhale. Traditional cobra. Shoulder heads lift back. Exhale. Release. Downward facing dog. Take the left leg up into the air. Three-legged dog. So trying to keep the hips in line. The right and left frontal hip bones are in line. So you're not hiking up the left side. Shoulders are also even. Take a nice deep breath. Lift your thigh bone up and back a little bit more. And as you exhale, pull the knee into the chest. Empty out. Lift the belly. Step the foot in between your hands. Right knee comes down. Untuck the back toes. Let the hips sink toward the floor just a little bit. And then start to drag the front foot and the top of the back foot together as you drop the tailbone toward the back, toward the floor, or inward, and then lift the low belly to send the arms up. And they can always hang out again on the thigh. So whatever version you did in the first side, let's just make it even. Arms reach up, shoulders draw down. One more inhale, really getting a nice stretch there in the hip flexors. And then let's take the hands down, Ardha Hanumanasana or half splits. Rock the hips back, flex the front foot, drag the left heel toward the back of your mat, send the spine forward, shoulders and hips anchor back. And let's breathe here. Nice deep breath, Ujjayi. Feel the breath at the back of the throat, sweeping in, down to the lower lobes of your lungs, and then moving up and out through the nose. Follow that flow of the breath. From here, rock forward again. Curl your toes under. This time we're going to pivot to the right side of the mat. Come to a wide angle. We'll inhale here and take Prasarita A. So we're just going to walk the hands toward the feet. Get a nice stretch for the legs, the spine. Let the head drop. Weight of the head dropping. Our first forward fold of the day. Shoulder heads are lifting away from the ears so the neck is long. Lift of the navel as well. From here, let's lift up halfway. We'll take a twist. Right hand under the heart. Left arm reaches up toward the sky. Shoulders stay down the back. Engage the right inner thigh. Lift the right kneecap. Come back to center. Inhale, stay long from the crown to the tail. Exhale, right arm reaches up. So we're revolving the rib cage. Shoulders stay down. Spread the fingers. And then come on out of your twist. We're going to heel toe the feet in a little bit. So feet are a little wider than hips. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Just a different take on our forward fold. Grab the opposite elbows. We're going to sway from side to side. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, heel toe in a little bit, so maybe we're hip width. Inhale again, exhale, fold. Standing forward fold, our first one of the day. Again, anything you like to do here, if you like to sway, ragdoll, or if you want to just find some stillness in your first Uttanasana. If you like to practice this pose with feet together, you can heel toe in one last time. So your big toes are touching and there's a space between the heels. I prefer this with my feet separated. Release the weight of the head so the neck can lengthen. Take one more deep breath here. And then let's all bend the knees and slowly roll up. Coming on up to stand. Inhale, take the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands pull into the heart. And let's face the front of the mat. Come on up to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Surya Namaskar A to get a little warmer. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, Uttanasana. Empty the lungs as you fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Stepping back to plank pose. So we've done a couple cobras. Maybe if we're ready for up dog, we'll go there. If not, keep with your cobra. So we inhale, shift forward on the toes, exhale, chaturanga. See if you can hover. Then we move to the tops of the feet, straighten the arms, the hips are lifted for up dog. And then exhale, roll over the toes to down dog. Take a nice full breath in and complete breath out. Inhale, look at your hands, come onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, you can step or take a little hop to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, rise all the way up. I want you to focus on taking complete breaths here. Exhale, completely empty the lungs. Good. Inhale, take a humongous breath in. Exhale, forward fold and empty. Inhale, get long. Back to plank pose. Exhale, set up your alignment. Shoulders over the wrists, thumbs draw in. Inhale, lift the navel, gaze forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, coming to your back bend, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, peel it back, down dog. Engaging the core on the way. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. Inhale, see where you want to go. Come onto the balls of the feet, bend your knees. Maybe take a little hop to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen, create space. Exhale, empty out. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Use the glutes on the way up. Exhale, hands come into the heart. Moving into Surya Namaskar B, but I like to add on a little bit. So let's come into chair pose. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Feel the weight in the heels. See if you can look down and see the toes. So if the knees are too far forward, put a little more weight in the heels, sit back like you're going to sit in your chair. Good breathing here, creating a little more heat in the body. Let's take an inhale and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Stepping back and lowering down, or you can always skip that chaturanga and just step straight back to down dog. So we inhale, shift forward, exhale, lower. Come to the tops of the feet, inhale for either back bend, full breath in, exhale, down dog. Right leg lifts up into the air, three-legged dog, inhale. Step the right foot to the right thumb, coming into warrior one. So you're going to spin your back heel down, reach your arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Same thing like in the lunge. We don't want the tailbone lifting out. So think of the tailbone dropping down and the frontal hip bones lifting up. So the low belly lifts. We create a little more space through the low back. Good, a nice deep bend in the front knee. From here, we're going to inhale. Let's take the hands and lace them behind you. If this doesn't work, you could use a strap or just keep a low V. Inhale here, exhale, devotional warrior. We're going to fold kind of toward the inside of that right knee and hug the right hip in toward the midline. Pull the feet together, lift the navel, let the head drop. Take a full breath here. Good, release your hands on either side of your foot. Come to the ball of the back foot. So we're in our runner's lunge here. And then let's hop the back foot in just an inch and straighten the front foot. You can spin your back heel down if you want. So we're in flank pose. Again, another one for the hamstrings and spine. So get long with the spine, the heart forward, the hips and shoulders pull back, just like in half splits. And then exhale. If you have a little space, you can fold, but it might be enough to just stay on the flat back or even blocks under the hands. Another full breath here. Slowly lift your gaze forward of your mat. Walk your hands forward, and we're going to lift that back leg up. So we're in an L stand or a supported warrior 3. So the hands are on the floor. And then if you want, stay. Otherwise, we've done quite a bit of twisting. We're going to leave the left hand where it is. The right hand can slowly stretch up toward the sky. So we're in revolved half moon, Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. You want to think of your frontal hip bones being in the same plane, your left thigh bone screwing into the hip like a screw moving into a hole. So your hips stay level, heart forward, one more breath here, wringing out through our center. And then look down, untwist, step your left foot to meet your right, chair pose. Bend your knees, sink your hips, arms reach up. Inhale here. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. That's one side. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating. Ground yourself again into the moment. Feel your feet pushing down into the floor. Chair pose, bend your knees, sink your hips.
Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank pose. Inhale prepares us for chaturanga. Exhale, we lower, lift the navel. Inhale for your back bend. Lift the collarbones, spread. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take the left leg into the air, three-legged inhale. Step your left foot forward to meet your left hand. Spin your back heel down, Virabhadrasana 1. So finding that tailbone drop, low belly lifts, the right hip rotating forward, the left thigh bone drawing back into the hip socket, and then the arms reaching up. So lots of space in the spine, lots of stability in the hips, pushing into the outer edge of your back foot strongly. So the front leg's not doing all the work. That back inner thigh is lifting as well. And then let's take the hands, lace them behind with the opposite thumb on top. Lift the chest, breathe in, exhale, melt forward, drop the head, lift the belly, and then hug the left hip in toward the right side of your mat. Take a nice deep breath here. Good, and then let's release the hands on either side of your foot. Come to the ball of the back foot, runner's lunge. Holding here for a moment. Hop your back foot in just a little bit. Spin the back heel down, straighten the front leg. If you need to have it bent, if we're kind of tight in the hamstrings, that's totally fine. Okay, or maybe grab your blocks so we lift up a little bit. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, draw the left hip back, and exhale, maybe stay and breathe and hold, or maybe we fold forward. This is flank pose or intense side stretch, Parsvattanasana. Big full breath. Coming into the L stand, gazing forward, ball of the back foot, hands sneak forward a little bit, lift your back leg. So we're first just in our L shape. We're really relying on our core strength here, flexing the floating foot. Right hand stays grounded, her fingertips. Left hand moves up toward the sky. It can also come to the low back so we can feel the pelvis stable and neutral. And then the left arm can reach up if you'd like. Again, think of the right thigh bone plugging into the right hip socket. Wringing out, revolving the rib cage toward the left. Keep your shoulder blades down your back. One more full breath here. Feel your power, feel your stability and your strength. If you're wobbling and falling out, totally fine. It's different every time we practice. Look down, untwist, step right foot to meet left, chair pose. Bend your knees, sink your hips, arms reach up. Settle into it as you exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a full breath here. Heart beating into the thumb. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. You can step right back to down dog, skipping vinyasa. You can go to child's pose, or you can take chaturanga as you exhale, lower down. Inhale, tops of the feet, straight arms. Exhale, down dog. Push the hands and feet apart from one another. Take some slow breaths here. Let's take a lion's breath. We're going to inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, stick out the tongue. One more, inhale. Exhale, wring it out. Take the right leg up into the air. As you exhale, step the foot to the right thumb. So use the core in all of those transitions. Coming up to crescent pose. Arms are going to reach up. Same thing we talked about with the tailbone. If the tailbone lifts up, we're sitting in the lower back. Bend your knee, take your tailbone down, take the front of the hips up, your frontal hip bones up, and then straighten the back leg a little more and reach the arms up. Feel how that opens up the front of the left hip in a different way and gives us a lot of space through the lower back. And then we can maybe bend that front knee a little bit more if it feels all right, and pull the feet together energetically. Inhale, keep this. Exhale, waterfall the arms. So we're going to hover, not kind of like our devotional warrior. Feel the right glute really wrap in. Another full breath. Squeeze the triceps, squeeze the backs of the arms. Lift the navel to the spine. From here, we're going to set the hands down, come back to half splits, but maybe option to hover the back knee. So you're kind of toning the thigh muscles. And you can always put it down too if that feels good and you want to just focus on your hamstrings. Take another deep breath here. Shoulders stay down the back, out of the ears. And then from here, a little different, we're going to come forward. Hands come forward. We're going to straighten the right leg, pull the left knee to the nose. Lift your gaze, bring the hands to the hips and stand up. We're going to come into tree pose from here. See if you can open out that left leg. Finding your tree. Good. Hands come to the heart, arms reach up. Nice. And feel the foot firming into the inner thigh firming into the foot. Or maybe we're down on the calf. Maybe your toes are just tapping on the floor. Find whatever is happening for you. Breathe there, root there, anchoring into the moment. Hands come to the heart. Unhook your foot, come into your figure 4, standing. Maybe we're just working this. It's kind of an opener for the outer left hip of pigeon standing. Maybe you're going to bend your knee like chair pose, so it's a half chair. Feel how we stabilize and strengthen the right hip while the left hip is opening. Take a nice deep breath here, flexing the floating foot, lifting the heart. You can always add the arms if you want. Smiling. And then slowly straighten the front leg, the standing leg, unhook, warrior 3. So I'll show you this way. We're going to go back to warrior 3. Again, nice and strong, standing leg. Big full breath. Arms can do whatever. They can go forward, airplane, back, hands to the heart. From here, touch down, back to crescent pose. Where we were. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, lightning bolt. So we're going to come forward not quite as far as we were earlier. Toning the core, the abdominals and the low back. Take a deep breath. And then put the left hand to the inside of the right foot and twist. Our right arm reaches up. So we've done quite a bit of twisting, kind of wringing out. We're hugging the right hip into the midline as we move the heart away from the inner right thigh. Inhale here, and exhale, come into lizard pose. Both hands to the inside of the foot, put the back knee down. You can walk that right foot out to the right a little bit. Anchor your hips, anchor down. If you like to come onto the forearms, great. If you like to twist, you can go back. We've done quite a bit, so you can maybe find your foot and open up the quads. If you like to curl your back toes under and make this a little more active lizard, you can do that. And then if you like to bind and do some shoulder stuff or balance stuff, you can take your right shin, lift it, push it forward so I call this put the backpack on. You put your shin on top of your upper arm. Fingertips can come out like an airplane, and you can be here, lift the arms, see how that feels. If you're a bind person, turn the palms up. I'm not there right now, but you can bind here as well. So play. Last 2 breaths in your lizard. Another one is come to the outer edge of the right foot and let the knee drop out. That feels amazing. So be in your body. Stick with what you are doing. It is the right thing in this moment. We'll slowly all meet back up on our hands. So whatever you're doing, come on up, come on out. Curl the back toes under. Step to plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Now maybe the knees are down for these. Now, whatever you want to do. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, take it back, down dog. Observe how the right side of the body feels to the left side. In yoga, it's not my body compared to her body or his body. It's my right side compared to my left side, right? So it's a non-comparative, non-competitive practice with others. We're all united in this practice. We just kind of want to see what's going on in our own bodies. Left leg rises up. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot through. Let's come on to crescent pose. So we are on train tracks with our feet. That means hip width apart, not tightrope. So we have a better balance, nice evenness and openness in the hips. Let's talk about the tailbone. Bend your back knee. Drop your tailbone. Lift the low belly. Front of the hips lift. Straighten your legs. Reach your arms. Drop into the front leg a little more. Maybe bend the knee. Maybe pull your feet together. Find so much engagement there. while the shoulders are soft, while you still find stillness and ease in this pose. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the triceps, waterfall forward, hovering the torso. Fire up the back of your arms. Back of the neck is long. Take an inhale here. Exhale, touch the fingertips to the floor, bend your right leg and straighten your left leg, half splits, but just a modification if you want to hover that knee so that you can feel the quads and the inner thighs kind of trembling and working, or you can set it down and have a more just hamstring opening approach. So one more breath here. And then we're gonna come forward. Fingertips come forward and we're gonna pull the right knee to the chest. Lift your gaze. Come on up. Tree pose. Open out. So we're up here on the inner thigh or we're on the calf with the foot. Wherever you want to practice. Kind of whatever you did on the first side. Try it out here, and then arms can do whatever expression you like. It's kind of nice to keep the shoulders relaxed sometimes. I'm usually really tight in my shoulders, so I like to be here for my tree. Mudra is good with the fingertips. Bring your thumb and index finger together. Feel the engagement of the standing leg. Feel your roots. Your standing foot rooting into your surface here. And then from here, let's bring the hands maybe to the heart or the hips as you unhook your tree pose and externally rotate for your figure four. Flex the foot. Maybe we're here, we're finding our balance. Maybe we're gonna bend the knee and find a one-legged chair. And then you can take your hands again, any variation. Maybe hands to the heart or lift them up. Feel how we're opening the right hip, stabilizing and strengthening the left hip. Good. Connection to the core here. One more full breath. And then slowly make your way back to warrior three. So unhook and then take that right leg straight back. Good. Heart forward, full breath in. Long breath out. Slowly stepping back into crescent pose. So we're on nice and wide with the feet. Arms stretch up. Inhale. Exhale, coming into that lightning bolt. So we're just torso leans forward a little bit. Stay really strong. Pull your feet together. Stay strong in that left hip and glute. One more full breath here. And then put the right hand down. You're going to find your twist here. Left arm reaches up. So the back quads on the back leg lift so that we're stabilizing that right hip, lifting the right hip up, hugging the left hip into the midline. Good. And then both hands to the inside of that left foot. Maybe wiggle that left foot out to the left a little bit. Drop your back knee, setting up for your lizard pose. So we're getting into the same variation that we did on the first side. Hips sink down. Maybe we came to forearms. Maybe we did our twist. So the left arm reaches back, perhaps grabbing onto your foot to get into the quads and roll the chest open. Maybe you did a few other things. So what do we do? We lifted the back leg. We tried the backpack. So we lift the hips a little bit to snuggle the upper arm or the shoulder under the calf, behind the calf. Fingertips come out. And then lift your arms up. You can play with that. You can turn your palms up. And then maybe clasp the hands. The gaze is forward for that one. If we're grounded, maybe we came to the outer edge of the left foot and let the knee drop out a little bit. That feels great. Be where you are. Finding contentment there, breathing there, santosha. Experiencing whatever comes up here as we release into the hips. Watching your own reactivity, being mindful of it. Last breath here. This is a skill that we really cultivate on our mat and we take it into our life. Mindful of our own reactivity. It happens in the poses. Let's come back up onto the hands, curl the back toes under, step to plank, deep breath in, pull the thumbs together, engage in your chaturanga as you lower down, come to the tops of the feet, straighten the arms, hips lift, up dog or cobra. Exhale, take it back down, up. Good. Full breath in. Long breath out. We'll just do an we'll do some warrior two. Take the right leg up, externally rotate. So bend your knee and open right hip on top of left. Take the leg straight back behind you, square it off, knee to nose as you step the foot forward. Ground your back heel, let's open up to warrior two. We'll just do a quick kind of externally rotated asymmetrical series here. So warrior two, for a few breaths, find your alignment. Really dropping the right sits bone down. Knees in line with the second and third toe, so you can see the big toe. And then the front heel matches the arch of the back foot, roughly. Now, everybody's a little different, so if you want to adjust yourself, and then spin the front palm up, reverse your warrior. Straighten your front leg for triangle pose. We're going to lift the torso up. I like to heel toe my back foot in just a little bit. Spine moves forward, hips move back. Right hand comes down to the shin, floor, or block. Left arm to the sky. Maybe we're up a little higher. Whatever we're doing though, see if you can really get long through both sides of the waist. The gaze can be down if that feels better for the neck. Bringing the gaze up is a little twist for the neck. The ribs and navel draw in to support you here. Just feeling the stretch, feeling the expansiveness, the openness in the pose. And then we'll do the other side, so bend the knee, coming back up into warrior two. Bring the hands to the hips, straighten your front leg, and we'll just parallel the feet. We'll go to the left. Bend your knee, warrior two. Arms spread out. Again, checking out your alignment here. You can see the left toe. We're dropping the tailbone down. Same thing. The front ribs are drawing in together. So if you feel anything in the low back, think of taking your butt down. Low belly lifts, ribs draw in, shoulders down, arms spread, and we're gazing over the tips of the fingers. Reverse your warrior, left palm reaches back, breathing into the side body. Straighten out your leg. Lift the torso up, heel toe in if you did on the first side. So as we move the hips back, the spine moves forward. Hand comes down, right arm reaches up. Getting long through both sides of the waist. So that might be taking your hand to the right rib cage, kind of melt it down. And then that might be thinking, lengthening your tailbone back toward your heel. And then while the front leg is straight, we don't want to lock the knee, so there's a little softness to the knee. Think of pushing into the ball of the front foot. So your shin bone moves forward, your thigh bone moves back into your hip socket. From here, ribs and navel in, rebend, warrior two. Good, straighten your leg, hands to the hips, parallel your feet. Move your heels in and your toes out. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come into the heart. I'm gonna give you guys some options here. I love goddess pose. So you can stay here, you can kind of go up and down, hands can come to the thighs, side to side. If you like to come a little bit lower, you can drop into malasana pose. If you are an arm balancer, pretty warm for it, so we can come all the way down, big toes touch, knees wide, hands press for crow. So you're gonna lift your hips up and take your knees to the backs of your arms. The gaze moves forward, we shift on the toes just like in chaturanga. That's the little secret here for the arm balances. So we shift forward on the toes. It's a cat back, it's a round back. Maybe pick one foot up, maybe the other. Maybe you guys are grooving in your goddess pose. That's great. Let's all meet there. So if you've tried the balance, go a little wider, hips down, spine up. Good, and we're here. Nice. Everybody straight legs, parallel your feet, hands to the hips, lift up, inhale. Exhale, let's go full for a forward fold. Actually, it might feel good to lace the hands. If you want Prasari to see, feel free to get that shoulder opener so you can come on down. If you would rather, walk your hands forward. This is like a wide dog. I love this too. So just take any of these variations. If you're a headstand person, you can go Prasari to A to tripod headstand. So guys, you're at home. Do what works in your practice. Do what feels good. Take another breath. hands release, flat back, inhale. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, warrior two, to the front of your mat. Inhale, prepare, exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back to down dog, and we're gonna open up the left hip in the three-legged dog because we didn't on the second side. So bend the knee, stack left hip on top of right. So the left leg is up into the air, just balancing out. Take the leg straight back behind you, square it off, set it down. Move into plank pose, inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Good. From downward facing dog, we're going to come into dolphin pose. So if you like to come onto your knees, that's great. You can put your forearms down. If you like to do it from dog, you can lower from your down dog. Maybe both elbows bend at the same time, and we put the forearms down. Plug the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe walk your feet in a little bit. And we're holding here, we're breathing. If you like to move around, feel free to lift one leg and see how that feels. You can come on to the ball of the foot just like we did in chaturanga, just like we did in crow. You can play with that. Try the other leg. Lift it up. Try not to open up the hip. We're all going to meet in child's pose. If you're ready for it, go there. Do what's calling to you here. Doing another breath. Challenging yourself in your dolphin. Here we go. And then everybody, bring the knees quite wide, big toes touch, and settle down, sink in for a couple of breaths here, child's pose. Feel your breath entering and leaving your body, particularly your back body. Feel that energy. Feel how it feels to be on the ground. We did a lot of balancing. So just moving the energy down, earthward, connecting. Another moment here. Nice. Slowly from your child's pose, let's lift up. We're going to take a pigeon. So any way you like to do pigeon. If you like to roll on your back for thread the needle, it's kind of like what we did standing. We're just going to let those hips release the fire. If you want to come forward, shin forward, this is great. With the back leg long, foot in line with hip, and then you can settle down onto the forearms or whatever you like to do. 2 fists for the forehead, maybe a block. Third option would be to double pigeon. So you're sitting, if you want to root your sits bones and come to a seat, you can take Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. So you're flexing your feet, stacking your shins, and then start to fold forward, hinge forward. Wherever you are, settle in. Settle in for maybe 5 or so breaths. Connecting to stillness and ease, even if there are parts about this that are a little uncomfortable, that are a little resistant. With every breath, can you welcome in that which is beneficial to you, and with every exhale, can you release what is no longer needed? Releasing tension, releasing negative thoughts, ideas, fear, clutter. Our asana help us get to that point where we can kind of burn through some of the mind stuff, the clutter in the mind. Observe your breathing now. See if you can come back to that 4 count, and is it more accessible, or is it difficult even still in this hip opener to find fluid, deep breath? Just always observing without any attachment to the outcome, without any judgment, without any comparison. We'll slowly make our way to the other side. So from wherever you're at, unwind, take any counter movements. Maybe if you're folded forward, a down dog is good. If you're seated, shake your legs. If you're on your back, hug your knees in. We'll do the other side. Same way. Take time to get into position. If you are folding forward and we're all home, you can grab a blanket or something to support your left hip if it's higher. It's nice to put something underneath the sits bone to let the sits bone drop down onto the floor, making the sacrum a little more level, hips balanced. And then come on in. It's also nice if you're folding forward to support your forehead. 2 fists, a block, whatever you have. Blanket. A little pressure on that frontalis muscle in the forehead helps us to activate our relaxation response. Coming back to the inhale and exhale, every breath is that opportunity to release. Release what is not needed. Every inhale is the opportunity to bring in what serves us, to invite it into our systems, to create it, to experience it. Inhaling for a count of 4. Exhaling for a count of 4. Simple tool of this breath really shifts our perspective, changes our frequency. So when we step off our mat, we are more at ease. There's a little more balance, clarity. Experiencing your breath, filling your body, and maybe sending a little more breath on those areas that might be resisting or gripping here, maybe particularly the outer left hip, low back, shoulders. Just sense it and send some breath there. Not sending judgment there, but just sending a little deeper breath to that area. Last round here. From your pigeon pose, wherever you are, let's all meet on our backs. So if you want to take the same counter movements you did from the first side, if you are forward and you want to do a down dog, hop through to your back. You can look at your hands, bend your knees, and a little jump to your back. Everybody coming on down, hugging the knees into the chest, rocking a little bit side to side. And then we'll take a couple bridge pose just to open up, putting the feet down, hip width apart, making sure the knees are in line with the hips, thigh bones parallel. Push into your feet, lift your hips up, and then maybe snuggle those shoulder blades a little bit closer in. You can lace the hands underneath if it feels good. Close your eyes here. So it's as if we're sending the tailbone forward to the knees and the knees forward toward the front of the mat. Lifting the rib cage, your sternum moving toward your chin. So you're involving your upper back, your thoracic spine, which is more rigid. It doesn't have the flexibility of the lumbar spine because the rib cage kind of holds it in place. So see if you can lift your heart space up just a little bit higher while your inner thighs roll down. And then release your hands, spread your shoulder blades back out, and come on down. Options, knees come together, constructive rest, or knees fall out to the sides, Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a breath here. And if you would rather not have a second back bend, stay in whatever you're in. Maybe one more back bend if you'd like. If you want to reverse your wrists and go for a wheel, you can do that. When you're ready, push into your feet, bridge pose. If you're going to wheel, reverse your wrists. Push to the top of the head first and then all the way up. My shoulders are not happy with doing wheel these days, so it's not really in my practice. Maybe lace your fingers underneath you again. Different thumb on top. And you can play with one leg, bending one knee, taking one leg up. Ekapada, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Try the other leg. Lift it up, reach, spread your toes, bend the knee
place the foot down. Observe the belly rising and falling one more time here. And then undo the arms, spread the shoulder blades wide, come on down. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Pause just for a moment. Take your arms out to the sides, palms face up, and then both knees windshield wiper to the right. Come to center, knees to the left. And then just however it feels good, maybe a couple more times. Continuing this movement. And then we'll start to slow it down, bringing your heel toe, your feet back in to the center. Grab the knees into the chest, rock again side to side. Please take any final movements in this moment that would really serve you and complete your practice. If you want to move to your wall space, take your legs up the wall. Maybe legs up just right here. And let your thigh bones settle down in their sockets. Maybe a final twist. If you feel like you want one more, you can do revolved belly pose, happy baby, full happy baby. Since we did one half at a time, how would it feel to do full happy baby right now? Grabbing the outer edges of your feet. Maybe you're ready for Shavasana. So just moving into whatever pose would do you some good right now for just a few breaths. And then we'll have just a brief Shavasana to let everything go. So, finding your way down onto your back, letting your bones get heavy, letting your arms and legs just drop down into the earth, letting the back of the skull get a little heavier. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Let the lips part and sigh out the mouth. Just allowing yourself to relax here. Feel free to remain here, resting, much deserved rest. And if you only have an hour, begin to deepen your breath once again. Feel the breath moving in through the nostrils and sending the breath to the hands and feet. Letting the fingers and toes start to move, roll the wrists and ankles. Let the arms stretch up and overhead once again. If you're at the wall, feel free to stay. Spend some time there. If you're ready to come down, you'll bend your knees and roll over. Push yourself away. So whenever you guys are ready, making your way to your right side, just pause there for a deep breath. And then always use your hands to support you as you come up to a seat. Bring the front of the hip bones toward each other so we don't do anything to the low back. Pushing up, bring the hands to the heart. Sit tall. Observe your energy. Appreciate yourself for showing up, for doing this work. That is valuable to you, to everyone you come in contact with, maybe virtually these days. But when we practice yoga, we create a ripple effect. Healing and peace extends out beyond just us. So
So thank you so much for sharing this with me and taking this time. Namaste.